2 3/4 multiplied by 2/3. To solve a mixed number multiplied by a fraction, we can use two different strategies. The first one is decomposing, and the second one is taking our mixed number and using it as an improper fraction. First, to start with decomposing, I am going to decompose my mixed number so I can multiply each part by 2/3. So I will have 2 times 2/3, and then I'll multiply the fractional part of that mixed number, which is 3/4 times 2/3. When I'm looking at 2 as a whole number, that reminds me that I have 2 wholes completely shaded in, no splitting them at all. So that's one group of 1 and another group of 1. So I can say that 2 wholes is the same as 2 over 1. That way, when I go to multiply my fractions, it makes it a little easier for me to multiply those numerators and denominators. So when we multiply our numerators together. So 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. So I have 4/3. And then 3 times 2 is 6. And 4 times 3 is 12. However, I cannot add these together because I do not have common denominators. So in order for me to have a common denominator, I need to find an equivalent fraction to 4/3 that will let me add a number in 12ths. So I'm going to write my multiples of 3 and of 12. And I notice that 12 is a common multiple for both numbers, and it is the 4th multiple for 3 and the 1st multiple for 12. So since I already have that first multiple there, I can keep 6/12. And then I need to multiply 4/3 by 4/4 to find that 4th multiple. So 4 times 4 is 16, and 4 times 3 is 12. So now I have 16/12 plus 6 more 12ths, and I can go ahead and add those together now that I have a common denominator. So my denominator stays the same when we are adding. And now I have 16 and 6 more is 22. However, this is still an improper fraction, and I would like this to be in a mixed number. So for me to do that, I need to think of how many groups of 12 do I have. I have one group all together, and I can show this with a sketch as well. So I will have 12 12ths, and all of those will be shaded in, and then my next whole will have the remaining in order for me to get to 22. So when I go to shade that in, I have all of these, and that's 12 12ths. And then I have 10 more in order to get to 22. So that 12 12ths is the same as one whole. And then I have 10 12ths more. So the product of 2 3/4 times 2/3 is 1 and 10 12ths. And that was using the decomposing strategy. But I can also change my mixed number into an improper fraction. So we already figured out how to go from improper to a mixed number. Now we're going to do the reverse of that. So I'm going to sketch out 2 3/4. Shade in all of those, and each one of those is equal to one whole. And then I have 3/4. Since my fractional part is split into fourths, I'm going to split my wholes into fourths as well. So now I have 4/4 plus 4/4 plus 3/4. 4 and 4 more is 8, and 3 more is 11. So my new numeric expression is 11/4 times 2/3. So So again, 2 3/4 is the same, has the same value, is equivalent to 11/4 as the improper fraction. So now I can multiply my numerators together, which gives me 11 times 2 is 22, and 4 times 3 is 12. And again, we got the same improper fraction as we did earlier, so I'd follow the same process to get 1 10/12. I could also know that 22 is greater than 12, so I could subtract 22 from 12, and that gives me 10 extra, which is how I got my numerator in the first place. So that would also give me 1 10/12.